thank you all for coming here today. Just want to remind everyone that our community is still very much in grief. We are all still very difficultly dealing with the death of Daniel Prude. Save Rochester called this press conference today to apologize to Reverend Stewart for the incident that happened on Thursday night. Black Lives Matter is not a terrorist organization. Black Lives Matter is about shedding awareness about all of the black lives that continue to be dehumanized on the streets of every major city in America. These are major issues that we continue to deal with, and what we realized in speaking with Reverend Stewart is a lot of the causes that Black Lives Matter, Save Rochester is behind, and a lot of the things that UCLM is behind. We agree on so many different things. But what happened Thursday night is a group of radical Black Lives Matter members went up and hijacked Reverend Stewart's meeting. What they did was they snatched the microphone from the podium and they violently demanded that Lovely Warren and LaRon Singletary be fired. We are not commenting today on LaRon Singletary's resignation. We are, however, encouraging the mayor to continue to be transparent as we believe she has. And we want to continue to hold her accountable for whatever she knew. But we do believe that the mayor acted swiftly. We do believe that she responded based on what she knew. This is not a witch hunt for lovely Mayor Warren. What this is a call for unity. This is a call to respect the elders in the community who have paved the way with the civil rights movement. As a Black Lives Matter organizer and Save Rochester correspondent, I am asking all of you to stand behind Reverend Stewart as he calls us together to hold the police department accountable, as he calls for police reform. As an organizer with Save Rochester, we encourage you to stay updated on the latest developments of legislation. There's currently legislation being introduced to have filming police be considered a felony. We want to educate the public about some of these new laws that are being proposed or introduced so that we can get ahead of that 8 ball. Thank you all for coming. Again, we want to apologize sincerely to Reverend Stewart for hijacking his meeting. That is not what we are about. We are about real systemic change, and we are about real peaceful protesting. We are about agitating the system and doing away with the current system. We're going to turn it over to Reverend Stewart before we have questions from the media. Thank you.
Thank you, my young brother. Thank you all for being here today. And this is impressive, the way this young man has taken upon himself the responsibility of the Black Lives Matter movement to extend an apology to me, to UCLM. It's been UCLM's agenda to look at police misconduct, not only in the city of Rochester, but also in Monroe County, and to propose proposals that are going to reform the way the police continue to conduct their business. What happened to Mr. Prude was a travesty in all respects, and it should never have taken place. The police, on that cold night, they murdered Mr. Prude. And the murdering and the denigration of people of color has been a historic constant and a pattern in the city of Rochester, from Alicia McCullough, Denise Hawkins, Calvin Green, and Ken Jackson, up until the present time. and we want to put a stop to it. And the only way that we can deal with this is by members of my generation. Not only was that called the Civil Rights Movement, but it was also called the Black Freedom Movement at that particular time. So members of my generation and members of this gentleman's generation, these young people, working together, because there's a torch now that's being passed, a legacy that's being passed. And so we have talked about coming together and working together for total transformation, not only to relative systemic racism in the police department, but systemic racism in education, systemic racism in economic development, systemic racism in mental health, and in also universal affordable health care. We need these, and so we're going to collaborate, we're going to work together, and we're going to extend an invitation to others to work with us. What happened on Thursday night was inexcusable. Inexcusable. It never should have happened, because what we usually do, it has been our common practice to bring together people and city officials that the community has some concerns with. Have them answer the questions that we feel need to be answered. We want to know why the 6-month gap between when Mr. Prude's death happened and no one said anything. That was the venue for that to take place, asking the hard questions. And it never took place because of anger.
That's right.
Anger can never lead a movement.
That's right. That's right.
Rationality,
Yes.
reason, righteousness,
Yes.
organization.